Welcome. My name is Kinetic Symphony. I'm a narrator focusing on glitch in the matrix stories. Let's get into it. Story title. Last night, I kept driving back to the same church over and over again. Author name: T-Rex 1993. So this happened late last night. I'm from Texas, the Gulf Coast, and I drove out to the beachside last night to enjoy the wind from Hurricane Delta. Before I was about to drive back home, I noticed these two neighborhoods separated by a main road that were the polar opposite of each other. One was very poor, and the other one was clearly very rich. Now, I have a weird obsession with architecture and houses, and often drive through interesting looking neighborhoods to check out the houses in my free time. So I thought I'd check out these two neighborhoods out, just out of my curiosity. Now somehow, as soon as I started driving through them, I'd lose my memory and sense of direction, and just start circling around with no aim. I was definitely not drunk or under the influence of any drug, so I have no idea why this was happening. And every time I'd get lost, I just kept coming back around to this huge church/cathedral. This happened about 3 or 4 times with one of the neighborhoods. So I thought maybe it's just a weird thing in my brain, where it's remembering what street I drove through last time, and because I'm lost, it's automatically making me drive through the same street and making me come back to the same spot. So I thought if I changed the neighborhood, it'd stop doing it. So I went over to the other neighborhood and started driving through, and lo and behold, I lost my sense of direction and started circling around until I ended up in the same church again, and again, and again. I think I counted a total of 6 times before it happened, before I got freaked out and frustrated and just went back home. Oh, and to make matters even freakier, the winds messed up the lights around the church, and they were flickering like those out of a horror movie. It was probably the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life. Here are some pictures. Personal thoughts. This feels spiritual. Some kind of fog in your brain directing or even pushing you back to that church. When you were driving around, do you remember if you tried to or even were able to look around to keep track of the road names? Also, maybe if you can, you could even go back during the day and ask the locals to see, well, has anyone else experienced anything like that? Maybe they have. My impression is that some entity wanted you to be there, to go inside the church, because that's where you were drawn to again and again and again. I'm also wondering why. Maybe some crime happened there that night. Maybe someone needed help. I don't know, but that's a really creepy story. Second story. Story title: Possible glitch in the matrix. Author name: Liza Bug 96. So roughly a year ago, my husband and I were driving home on a route we've used for years now. It was around 9 or 10 p.m. and we didn't have children then. Plus it was a weekend, so we had slept in that morning, so we know we weren't tired at all. Neither my husband nor myself drink or do any drugs, so we can't attribute this experience to that either. I myself am a huge skeptic in all things related to simulations, aliens, ghosts, you name it. However, I just can't shake this incident. My husband and I had just turned off the highway and into a small town that borders us. We have a habit of taking back roads, and had just started going over the bridge to head home, when the most bizarre thing occurred. My husband and I were driving in comfortable silence, staring forward, when suddenly everything slowed down, and the road in front of us lifted up and then started flipping over, before quickly fighting itself and going back to normal. I was completely taken aback and looked to my husband, thinking I was going crazy, until he asked if I had just witnessed what he did, and then he started describing the same thing I had just witnessed. I'm not sure what to make of the incident, and thought to post here just to see what you guys thought. Personal thoughts. Wow, that is a weird event. So you say that things slowed down. Do you mean your perception of time, or just the car itself, or both? And then the road in front of you lifted up. This was a back road, but it was still asphalt, right? Not dirt? Did you happen to get out of the car and go inspect the road where it started lifting up? If so, did you notice any cracks in it, or was it still seamless, like nothing had happened at all? I know if this happened to me while I was alone, I would genuinely think I'd gone mad. I'm glad you had your husband with you, so at least you both know your sanity is intact. As far as theories go, I could always say, well, this kinda seems like an alien abduction, because time distortion seems to be involved. But normally people don't have false memories. They just can't remember what happened. And also there's always time distortion, not just perceptually, but when you return from whatever happened, time has moved forward. Did you notice any loss of time, or was it still the same time after? I don't know if you remember that detail, but it could be an important clue. If time was normal for you after, if you weren't gone for longer than a minute, well then, it probably wasn't an alien abduction. But then I have no idea what it would be. Very strange indeed. And that concludes our stories for the night. I know you loved it, so hit that like button and subscribe on up. I upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you all there.